Today we have a comparison video of two brand new products from Kawai. It's their CN series, the CN201 and the CN301. We'll be talking about the difference in price, the difference in features, and why both of these might be an excellent choice for your first instrument.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in downtown San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate your support. We love to interact with you.
This is a great video,
Well-
only because I have this thing that I've been saying for a while. In their price range, Kawai pianos, compared to everything else that I've seen on the market, run a really, really hard bargain and give you a lot for your money. They're extremely competitive when it comes to two things: the playability, the touch, and the tone.
Yeah, they try to pack it in at every price point. And we're really excited to show you guys both the 201 and the 301 today from the CN series from Kawai. We are doing something new in a lot of these videos. We're starting out with a piano fact.
Oh yeah,
a quick fact, and this is, we just surpassed 10,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for subscribing. We're into, 5 digits now, which is cool. 6 digits, here we come.
Appreciate every single subscriber.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. And so we are going to be sprinkling in piano facts. The piano fact of the day is
soundboards.
So if you think about pianos, it's a lot like, you've said this for years, it's like a big guitar.
It's a giant guitar.
Which a guitar is like a big violin. And so you think about the manufacturing of instruments and the very practical use of strings being struck or being plucked or being...
mahogany box.
A box that is some sort of hardwood, and the top where a lot of your tone comes from being made out of...
spruce.
Being made out of spruce. And so you think about guitars for many years, spruce has kind of become the primary wood that is going to carry what the strings are starting. So the strings start the sound, and then the spruce starts to vibrate. On modern pianos, I would say almost every single one that I know of has a spruce soundboard in the way that, the way that it's set in the casing of the piano. It's sometimes scallop. It has bracing. It's trying to maintain its integrity of strength, but also vibrate as much as it can so it can hold your sound. But in the past, this is the history element of this. In the past, just like in guitars, they've experimented with other woods. So today on guitar woods, you see cedar top guitars. On a lot of classical instruments, a little bit, you see a mahogany top, you see koa tops, you see all these different woods. But back in the day, they did the same thing with pianos. And we've had a couple here. We've had a cedar top piano, which was just a really interesting tonal quality because cedar has a different tonal property than spruce. It's not as loud. It's got a limited range, but it's got a really sweet mid-range sound. So if you guys have ever seen a piano before with a different looking wood underneath the strings, it might be a really cool tone wood.
There's a history of this soundboard in this piano fact, and there's a future because before too long, carbon fiber soundboards are going to come out in pianos. So that's my prediction.
So leave some facts about soundboards, what you've seen, what you've heard, and we will move right on to the CN series 201, 301.
301.
So
great pianos. If you have someone that's looking to start a piano, a student, regardless of age, the 201 is a sure. Just go to it, get it, put it in the house. It'll have everything they need: basic sounds, basic piano, and really comparative in pricing. You get a lot more than what you would get out of a spinet piano, even though it's like, a little shorter than a spinet, but you're getting that great sample of a grand piano and a great action.
So the 201's a little bit smaller. The 301 is behind us, and we'll have the 201 here when we're playing it in a second. But what's the same about both of these is the responsive hammer 3 action.
They have the same keyboard.
Which is, a lot of people will agree that this is one of the best, if not the best, as far as simulated actions go with plastic keys. And so you can, of course, spend more money and get wooden keys and some hybrid components with paying that much for an advanced instrument. The responsive hammer 3 is a springless action that encapsulates a lot of moving parts when you're playing. It doesn't just have the on-off of some
this
cheaper
is the same
keyboards.
action. That's what I think about it. The responsive hammer action 3 is what they put in the top of the line Nord keyboards. So when you get a Nord keyboard and you're a player, you want that top, better action, this is the one that they put in there. Specifically mentioned Kawai's responsive hammer action 3.
And so the new version, the 301 and the 201, upgrade over their predecessors, the 29 and the 39. They've added a little bit more cushion, and so almost like a little bit of felt into the action that's gonna.
It's like someone went in and balanced every individual key and made them the right amount of dip and aftertouch and all.
Well, and they're careful. They heard that on some of the 39s and 29s that there was issues with a little bit more key volume. Like when the volume's all the way turned off and you press the
clunk
keys,
noise.
People heard a little bit of clicking or clunk noise, and that was just the action being hit. On the new system, a little bit more cushion. It's going to help with durability. They're saying that it's going to make sure that you're not making hard contact and that the action's not going to wear down quicker.
Right.
And then just more capability of playing it longer. And so triple sensor in that action, both of them have this, so very responsive with what you're playing. Ted, and on the 301 video, we were talking about how responsive and how perfectly it lines up with every sound in
there is a balance point to where, for instance, the one that really stood out to me was the slow strings and the SKEX sample. Any grand piano and string mixed sound where you hit the two, it's been around for like at least 20 years. But it's never been that much fun or exciting for me to play. Why? I don't know. And I come here and I play it today, and it seems like the touch and the tone is just matched perfect. It's like fun to play. And I noticed that all the other sounds, there isn't anything that feels like a weak sound when you're playing it. Sometimes you get one and it's a mellow sound, and it seems like the sample isn't up to par in terms of it's sort of like if you ever get one of those albums on a digital format where there's that one or two songs that aren't as loud and kick like the others, like, man, someone didn't master the thing right. And a lot of the general MIDI sounds, a lot of times, the sounds are great, but you're always finding yourself dealing with the volume, and then you go back to another one and the levels aren't balanced. There's a lot of complaints among keyboardists, so when they go from this sound to that sound, they have to really readjust the balance, and they can't really do it in the middle of a song because then you get something that's way too loud or you have to turn it up. These are tweaked out perfect to where the touch and the response of each tone works like it was designed for that keyboard.
And so, the key action is the same, the responsive hammer 3. The wattage of the amp system is also the same. You get 40 watts of power from your speaker system, which is a big thing because you get a developed sound. When you start to crank up the volume, it really starts to fill up the room. The difference is going to be the speaker layout between the 301 and the 201. So the 301 has top speaker assembly where they have a diffuser, and it's spacing out the wattage a little bit more, where in the smaller cabinet on the 201, it's the same amount of wattage, so you're getting the same amount of power, but it's all underneath speaker system. So it's a little bit more direct. When they're plugged in, they're going to sound very similar, but when you're plugging in, you're going to notice some differences, and that's one of the things. If you are looking at this instrument for a church or for choir, if you're a choir teacher or institution and you need some capabilities with this, the 301 is going to have the professional outs, the audio in, the audio out that are 1/4 inch unbalanced. Whereas on the 201 you have headphone ins and outs, but it's not ideal for plugging in and out in a professional context.
Right, because you're taking a headphone amplified sound and amplifying it again to bigger room.
Yeah, so the unbalanced is going to be a step above. What they did add to the 201, which is nice, is Bluetooth audio. So they both have the capability to sync up to your iPhone, your Android,
system.
And you have a 40-watt stereo system right in front of you, so you can play along to your favorite songs, have it playing, fill up the room. If this is in your front room, it's impress your friends with a giant.
Well, it's also
system.
great if you're learning a song. If you have the video there and you play along with it, so you just have the sound coming through your piano and you can learn.
They both have capability to have the virtual technician, so Bluetooth MIDI can control that. Whether if you have the application, you go to the Smart Pianist app, it's called Piano Technician.
Piano Tech, virtual technician.
The virtual technician app, and you're able to go in and adjust the sounds on it. It connects without any wires, so you don't have to worry about that. The difference is you have 19 parameters on the 201, you have 21 parameters on the 301, so they do give you a little bit more capacity. Again, it is all in the system if you want to use the cheek block. A lot of people don't want to have to sync up their phone and figure all that out. I know it seems convenient, and you're like, oh, I'll do that. But really, in reality, when you're sitting down to play, you don't really want to be messing with that. You sometimes like your controls right there. The big thing that we both agree on makes the 301 probably the most fun digital that we've had recently is the effects button.
That is just the effects button. You hold it down and it brings up the menu, and you can just bump over and change and alter.
There's 24 different types of effects you can put on there.
Having a world of all the pedals with run your Fender Rhodes through it, your Whirly through it, or even run your electric Grand through it, or run
your
the grand piano with the strings.
You
it's
can
really
add
cool.
You can add like a ping delay to your piano or a phaser or an amp, and you start to mess around with it. And I think it's one of those things like the virtual technician is made so that you can change your piano, and you can change the string resonance, and you can change the temperament, the tuning. You can change the action. You can change all these these features that make the piano sound and respond different, and really kind of make it your own. It's really fun, but the effects are like that next level.
Instant touch. Yeah.
And you just you turn it on or off, and you can phaser, tremolo. There's combinations. There's rotaries. So we'll mess around with a little bit of that, but it's missing from the 201.
It is missing, and they also cut back on 20 or 30 sounds.
Yeah,
less.
so there's 19 sounds in the 201. There's 45 sounds in the 301. Again, not going to blow you away on the amount of sounds, but the quality of the sounds that they choose are really top of the line, best in class. They're what you expect from a manufacturer like Kawai, from a manufacturer like Roland or Yamaha. These are all really high quality sounds, and a lot of them are going to be different voicings of some of the instruments. So you're able to go through and you can use, you can get into the parameters of the virtual technician, but there's also a smart approach. And so there's I think 9 or 10 smart changes that you can do. And instead of having to go through a list of 19 parameters and change things individually, they're kind of presets. You go through, oh, this one's more bright, this one's classic, this one's, they have different names for it.
Yeah.
And so we'll take a listen. Let's listen to both of them. Again, very similar in the sound engine. It's the exact same sound engine.
But there's a difference in the polyphony.
The harmonic imaging. It's the progressive harmonic imaging. It's between both of them. There's a difference in polyphony, and there's a difference in the voicings, and then also the virtual technician. So let's take a listen. We'll compare the two, and then we'll come back and talk about a couple more features.
After playing those keyboards, Patrick, I think the effects button is enough to sell me. On the 301, I think it'll sell anyone that comes in and plays on it.
Well, and then also when you're layering sound, it's a lot easier to click two buttons, the piano and the strings, and be ready to be playing in dual mode.
Right.
So you're playing two different voices. But yeah, the effects really make it a lot of fun. And you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want from your instrument. You want it to be fun. The 201 is a great practicing instrument because it has the same action as the 301. It has the same sound system, the 40 watts, the same progressive harmonic imaging. But the 301, again, is a little beefed up, and it has, I think just the way the controls are laid out is a better design. More capability when you're recording as well. Mm-hmm. So you're able to record more, save more. You can do it WAV file. You can do it Bluetooth audio, which is interesting. And you're able to... I just the control system just seems like a better navigation. They updated the controls on both of them as well, but I just again I want to nod my head to the 301 as a really cool.
Yeah, I do as well, but I also I think it's worth a nod to Kawai to at least take the action and the quality piano sound and put it in a trimmed down model. So if someone just wants a great sounding piano to sit and do their scales, their arpeggios, and practice and learn literature on, there's a great piano available to them just as a functioning, practicing unit.
The advertised price on these, $21.99 for the 201, $30.99, so $3,099 on the 301. So there is a pretty big price jump. The cabinet design is a little bit different, but again, it's one of those things where once you sit with it, it makes a lot more sense. You know, to you, you're like, there's a big price jump in these. Like, is it actually going to be that much worth it? It has the same action, same wattage. But once you start playing with it and seeing the response, the 301 really, it has its value proposition. And I think Kawai is smart to offer both. And it's, on paper, it can look confusing because you look at the CN201, $21.99. You look at the CA49, which is somewhere between, price point somewhere between these. I think it's $28.99. And then you look at this, the CN301, which is $30.99. So the CA series is their upgraded series, but the CA49 is kind of a stripped down CA.
Right.
And so we'll compare all these together because it can get confusing. But the CA series really shines with a wooden action, a kind of a different philosophy on building an instrument. But from Kawai, great product, a lot of the same cool features, but it's just they're all crowded in that. And we've talked about this, that $1,800 price point up to a $3,000 price point, give or take a couple $100 on each side. There's a lot of great manufacturing going into that, and it's, you know, what's hard is the decision might be harder than ever, but the plethora of choice is there's a safety net almost.
There's a lot of choices in that price range right now.
And to be honest, there's a lot of good choices, and so you know, you're not between the 201 and 301, you're not making a bad decision with either one. It's just which one fits you better, which one are you going to have more fun with, or which one is going to be more fun and keep bringing you back to it. So this is, again, the CN series from Kawai. It's new for 2022, the 301, the 201 replacing the 29 and the 39. And if you guys have owned a CN series before, again, it was the 27, the 28, and the 29. This is just the new version of it, the 201. If you've owned one in the past and loved it, or said, hey, I wish I would have got something else, please leave those comments. I know people will find them helpful in their journey and finding the right instrument for them. Make sure you're subscribed, because we will be making more comparing content on this price range, and we'll also be bringing you great piano facts.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Barcelou, I'm Patrick Marr. We're here at Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com.